We now have to involve Baba Mohbad, and then we don't.
CR7,
There is a
CR7, hold on a minute.
problem.
Hold
Okay.
on. That's what I just asked you. Do
Yeah.
you think we can carry this thing on without the consent of Baba?
Now, what I want to do
At
is
the end
I'm
of the
going
day,
to.
we'll come back to Baba to ask for his permission. And Baba will lead you to Muyiwa. And Muyiwa will tell you, give me the money. I don't need you, but bring the money that you are going to use to do all of this.
Please, oh, we don't want
Yeah.
Baba. We want to arrest the
Now,
family. Everybody's a suspect.
the issue of Baba, right, is just the first person that comes to mind, right? I will make further research tomorrow to see whether we have other persons that can validly sue, and for the reason that we want to foster. Let me put it that way.
I mean,
Now,
I'm out now. I'm about to say good night to everyone.
No. Okay, so, please let me just rush this one so that maybe you can. Yeah. Now, with respect to the customary marriage, right? There are different forms of relief that you can go and seek at the customary court there, right? So the one that I think that will be valid is the relief to nullify the marriage, the customary wedding between Wunmi and Mohbad on the grounds of adultery. And the evidence that will also come in there is that same if we have Mohbad questioning the paternity of the child, because adultery is a valid ground to nullify a marriage. So now the issue now will be if we can have Baba Mohbad to pilot that movement, or I'm going to do further research to see if there is another angle that it can come from, maybe another family member that can come into that direction. But I can tell you validly that if we are going to take the route of, but that will be a civil case. So if we are going to take the route of nullifying the marriage on ground of adultery means a married person sleeping with another person other than a spouse, right? And if Mohbad has said that, if Mohbad actually questioned the paternity of the child, what brings in a child? You don't just give birth to a child. You must have sex with someone else, right? So if we now come through that angle, Wunmi will be forced at that point also to do a DNA test if that marriage must stand. And if she's not going to do that DNA, that means she's forgoing whatever it is. And then after that, there are still other angles that we can go after her with, because she can't waste the time of the general public for this long and then just walk away.
Sure. So I'm guessing you're a lawyer.
Yeah, I'm a lawyer.
Okay. So if you find anyhow a family member other than Baba can help,
yes,
just DM me.
Okay, no problem.
Thank you.
So, IT guy, I don't know. Are you there?
You've summed it up, and you make a lot of points, sort of like from a technical aspect of the legal profession and all that aspect. But I really cannot see the way I see the foundation of this is actually going to the marketplace and getting people around to stone someone to death. But everybody is got wet tissue and then trying to use that to stone someone with the view that they can stone them to death. And someone is just even answered, ask a question. I think the answer is just there. I'm sure there are courses, there will be process. If the situation is not as complicated as it is, you're definitely not going to get a sanction or full of seal of approval from Baba Mohbad. There's no two ways about it. A lot has been said in the past and it's always sort of like debunked. He doesn't want to go that route to They always say something about we can't be family and then be enemies in court. If it's Muiwa that said it or Baba Mohbad that said it in the past, and I just kind of believe that, you know, in order for this to work, there has to be a foundation, and the foundation itself will not hold ground simply because it will just not be. It will not be allowed to manifest itself. That is what I can see about. I mean, technically, I can see what you're saying from a legal perspective, and aspect of this is kind of possible. But in this case, I think this case is too complicated for that kind of process to kick off or take shape.
Yeah, it's
The
actually
IT guy,
very complicated. It's actually
yeah.
very much complicated. So I'm just bringing it like a form of suggestion. Any person can also try to
No, I mean,
keep in touch with some other persons. Maybe we can be able to
suggestions
garnish
like
it.
this. I love suggestions like this, and yeah, I mean, we've discussed it at length. We've listened to you. We've given you, and I'm sure everybody has actually thought about it. You've closed your eyes and all that kind of stuff. You're just kind of wondering where, because if you look at this whole process, this fight for justice, everybody up and down the country, up and down the lands, actually believe there's only one person in that family that is fighting for justice, and it's Baba Mohbad. So there won't be anybody else that you can go to that will sanction, you know, an idea like this if you can't go for
Yeah.
Baba Mohbad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
that is where we
that's
we
a
will
stumbling
fail,
block
right?
for starters.
Yeah, that is where
because
we
that's the
will
reason
fail.
why. That's the reason why, and it's a good thing that we actually spoke about this properly. That's the reason
Yeah.
why I was asking, where is the foundation? Who are we? When you say we, I understand what you mean by we. But who are we, and who is going to represent us? How are we now going to have a solid ground to stand on and go to court and say we have a case or we have a petition?
The IT guy, you said it with the help of a foundation, like you just said.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
You know,
where
so
are
so
the
who are we?
foundations?
So when we don't have
They are
that
there.
that balance,
They're everywhere.
that ground, and you see, when this whole thing started, the people that don't want things to hold water are the people that made sure that foundation did not happen as part of the process. It was the most sensible thing to do
And now they are
at
trying to lay a foundation
the
of
very
hope.
beginning of this process. It was the most sensible thing to do, and we thought it was going to happen. And then when people started fighting African television and all that kind of stuff, it was clear that the African television, even at the time, put an idea, which is more like an idea, for them to set a foundation up in Mohbad's name. You see? And it was more like whether African television obviously wants its own emblem on it, where it will be African television stroke Mohbad, whatever. At least we will know it's a Mohbad foundation. We know the foundation is set up, you know, for that cause. And if that foundation was set up, the foundation would be a lot more powerful than a situation where we don't have spokesman, we don't have PA, we don't know who is doing what, we don't know which pots money is going into, we don't know who is accounting for anything. It would have been so transparent. It would have been just one course, and that will have the backing, proper backing of the public. It will be a one single voice that the public will rely on, that is actually speaking on the street, in court. But now, what do we have? We don't know. SAN today, SAN tomorrow, public lawyer yesterday, another lawyer in the UK, one in America. The whole thing is just literally disjointed. So the people that knew at the end of the day that they have to be accountable and don't want to give full account, who are scared of skeletons here and there, have engineered that process, and they've modeled that water right now, and the whole thing is just a bloody mess. It's a mess. But
Well,
I mean,
that's the problem
CR7,
we've been suffering with.
it's unfortunate that we set off on bad footing, but at least we got somewhere, thanks for your contribution and all that kind of stuff,
Yeah,
which is a good thing. We got the message when we listen, when we take our time, and no one is, your cage is not as rattled as it was three people appear to be attacking you and all that. So we got somewhere. And as Gift 90 said, let's keep bringing suggestion. But the thing is, wherever we bring, however we do it, let's make sure that when we're making this suggestion, we think about who is going to sanction it. Who is a rightful person? Because remember when Wumi and Mama Mohbad went to court and they wanted to bury the deceased, and they said that because I've been the wife, I've been this and that, the court threw the case out and said no. That is the father of the child, is the owner of the child, and he will determine when and how and whatever the case may be, and nobody else. So if that has happened under our nose and we can see it, the law is actually telling us how powerful Baba Mohbad is in this case, and how you know that if the situation is still going to be the state against anybody who is involved in this process, any aspect of the legal process that you want to instill for support or in all shape or every ramification still needs to go through Mr. Aloba. So it's like we end up with wish lists.
That's like Baba Mohbad is actually the major issue. Like it is a major problem. Without him, though, I doubt if we have another person that we can use to go for this issue of nullifying the marriage, and all of that. But
I mean, it's not fighting
people that
his
are
family.
close to him, to sell that idea to him, I think we can continue charging his conscience.
But
for him
the
to know
IT
that,
guy,
okay,
he requested for
Yes.
DNA.
he knows
He requested for DNA.
Well, you see, the thing is, he requested for DNA. Remember, he's still not fighting Wumi. He just wants
there's
to
no reason to
clarify.
fight. Yes, exactly.
He just wants a clarification. Is this child a member of my family or not?
Let's take it from
And
there
you can
first.
see how subtle he's playing the game. He's not forcing it, but he's trying to kind of use the gentleman approach, family to family, and then he's been pointed in a direction to say he needs to go to court to go and obtain whatever he needs to obtain. They've gone to put something on a gate somewhere, whether that is the right way to do it, whether that's part of the legal process, and now that they've put that on the gate and it still hasn't happened, what next? Do they still need to go to court to go and sit down in a family court and still discuss it?
Okay.
All
Now
this
you
kind
see
of
all
stuff.
our concerns about Mr. Muyiwa and how he's been slow and how some certain actions has not been taken yet. Do you actually think Baba is aware of all of them?
Well, look, all in hands. Everything is all taken care of. Don't worry. We are dealing with the legal people. And yeah, Baba, thing is, once you've relinquished all your responsibility to people who you believe are capable, and these people are engaging the way they do and you think is the best way to engage, I'm sure you will be fully versed about what is going on. But because he's entrusted them to do the right thing and they believe they are the people that will make it happen, and the fact that the inquest itself is actually slow to take shape, that is not actually helping to a certain extent either. So you can imagine the pressure is under. The inquest is there. We don't know which direction we're going to go. Petitions we can issue. This is public money. We can waste the money issuing petition. The petition can even amount to nothing. Why? Because it's my word against yours. Is people have gone to police station and given their whatever statement they need to give, and they're going to sit by the statement, and then the rest of it is petition based on what we hear on social media or video we watched on social media, or what people on social media have actually sort of like logically dissected and presented to us. The court doesn't work that way. Emotions is not going to work. Evidence is going to work. Foundation on which you're going to base the evidence on before you present it can be thrown out of court, because the court can say that hasn't got any ground to sit on. It will not be accepted in this course, never mind admissible. So there are technicalities about this whole process, but you're answering your question, I believe is well and fully versed about a situation that is powerless to do anything about.
Yes, yes. So, for example, like yes, you're correct. He knows about some certain things, but when we talk about let's say how much we would like Mr. Muiwa to just like take the back seat kind of thing and all these other concerns, do you think he's aware?
Well,
Yes, now.
he's aware. Look, let me tell you, 100% is
Aware.
aware. This was put forward to him on his show. It came public a number of times, and things
And
has
was
been said
dropped.
to him directly in
And he
some
told
of
the
the
public,
interviews he
yeah.
gave. But the thing is, at the end of the day, what is the man to do? Is giving the power of attorney to this guy. I mean, thing is, look, you have to really be out of touch completely, even if you are not Baba Mobad, not to actually know what is being said out there. This is more like public and opinion and public talks. It's just all the stuff we say. He's aware. He's aware. But the thing is, you see. The thing is, when you sit in a room, it's like having an organization, and the people that are making decision in that organization see things differently, not because they are myopic, but they only see what they want to see. They've selected what they want to hear, and they've selected what they want to see, and that is it. So people on the shop floor are complaining they are being maltreated, in a inhumane way, all this kind of stuff. But they sitting around the table see things differently. So Baba Mobad will see things differently from how we see it, because why? He's not the one that is going on social media platform to want to tell stories to people and tell people what they want to believe. It's Gurexi. If it's not Gurexi here, it's Muiwa on the other side. He's not the
Thank
one
you.
doing all that. And when he attempted to do his own, because it's more like we were almost watching something like a puppet show. Yeah, when he talks too much, they pull the plugs at the end of the
Well,
day.
as in he does. It's not even that he talked too much. When he was being fed enough information, they pulled the plug.
Yeah, so he knows. Because when he's engaging, you see the thing is, if they pull the plug right now and he's there with them, of course he knows why they pulled the plug. He knows he's there with them. They are there. He's not the one pulling the plug. It's them.
They're
Then
basically
they will
stopping
sit
him
him
from
down.
getting
Then they
all
will
the
sit him down
information.
and
I
say, in
think.
future, don't say this, don't say that. Be careful what you say here. Be careful what you say there. And suddenly, he's now not even talking in public anymore. So for me, I see that guy as someone who knows what he's doing. He appears like an intelligent man, but he's not going to tell you what is going on in his camp in public. They talk about these things. Look at the situation with chairman that came out recently and all that kind of stuff. They are together. He's well versed about what is going on. He's part of the whole process. But the thing
So,
is that because go on.
I was just gonna say, just God forbid, putting yourself in that shoes. As in, if it was you, would you be strong enough to deal with it yourself, or would you pass the power to somebody else?
Okay, so you can see, so we have different personalities, we have different principles. I don't know, if it was me, I would have been strong enough to deal with the matter directly by myself.
Yeah, and
Apart
we know
from
some, and we know some
lawyers,
can't.
apart from lawyers who will be sitting
Yeah.
next to me, who will probably just pinch me if I'm talking too much there and then in front of the camera next to me. But we have different strengths. We have different
Correct.
strengths, and we have different exposure to life.
Correct.
Baba Mobad is more like lived a gentle life, probably not as exposed as most. Yeah, and it may not be fully enlightened in certain aspects when it comes to the legal process. So, sometimes when you live a village life, not just in Nigeria, in China, you can go to China and go into the villages and see people who haven't even seen a car before, right? Who live in a village somewhere, who haven't really seen anything mechanical properly before, because they just live life. Even in India, the same thing happens there, because I've worked with Chinese people and Indian people. So when we see things that happen in the provinces, the same way we see it in Nigeria, the same way they see it over across various countries. Go to America, go even look at the West Indians and the Aborigines in Australia. Are these not Western countries? They are Western countries. Not many people are. Baba Mohbad did not ask for this to happen to him. He did not ask to actually be in this kind of situation where he's now going to go Western. The guy is not a Western man. You understand? He's now going to go Western. He's not going to start thinking about people in the West. He's a carpenter. He's just lived his life his own mundane way, which there's nothing wrong with it. It's just a way of life he's chosen. And because he's not exposed to that extent, he thought, what do I do? What can I do? I can't face the media. I won't even know what to say. I won't even know what to do. The legal people are there. And you know, sometimes the people in the legal profession also have a monetary way of looking at things. If you're not well enlightened and you don't know what's going on, they will just say, sign here, sign there, sign here, sign there. Before you know it, the public money is finished, if you know what I mean. So he did what he had to do and thought, okay, this guy is quite enlightened, he's educated. We understand this Western thing and all this culture. Let me put things in his hand. If he has anyone
and he's
around
a family
him,
member.
yeah, and if he has anyone else around him that can actually do half the work or even quarter the work that he can consider, then yes. But if that is not the case, he's done the best that he believes he can do out of his hand simply because he just cannot handle it.
Okay. Now, so knowing that, because a lot of people saying, negotiations going on. Is it not more plausible to believe that the negotiation will be going on from the person in charge rather than Baba?
Well, negotiation that will go on. We've seen this thing is happened in the West. It's happened everywhere. When there's a family wrangle, especially when someone dies, you actually see a case. My dad's lawyer is passed on now, but the lawyer is still alive. So my father's lawyer, when I went to see him in Lagos, and he's talking to me about a case of a man who died, and the family kind of were fighting for family possession. I can't remember the name of the family. I'm sure if I mention the name, people will be able to Google it. And it took almost 35 years for the case to have head or tail or anything meaningful. You understand? But at the end of the day, people still need to negotiate in the background. And negotiation is negotiation. It's just sort of like, say, all this banter and all these bits and pieces, blah, blah. Because at the end of the day, when the inquest itself comes to an end, grinds to a halt, the negotiation that's going to happen in the background will be less petition. There won't be petition against family member. The verdict is something we have to accept to a certain extent, and they're probably not going to actually push for anything to go to a higher court than just that is unfortunate, it's happened, this and that. But that negotiation will start now. That negotiation is not. You see, the thing is the whole situation is it started with shenanigans. And then the whole situation is becoming coy now. It's becoming more friendly. It's becoming a situation where we're in beer parlor, we're having issue, we're having pepper soup, and we are calling Mama Mohbad 3 times, 3 different people. You can see what's going on there. So negotiation will happen. The courts will advise you, the lawyers will engage, they will start fine-tuning things and start doing all this stuff. The public who wants justice doesn't know the kind of justice these people want. That is the question. Do we know the kind of justice, even the single man, Mr. Aloba, do we know the kind of justice he wants? Do we? From what
he's saying, from his mouth, he wants full justice.
Yeah, but how do you do that? Does that show in your actions?
From the actions, exactly. But who is in charge of the actions? That's where we need to be focusing.
But where are the actions? Tell me one action. Thank you
very much.
Apart from DNA, DNA is tired now. DNA is tired now. Even DNA is tired.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yeah, I understand. You remember there was this information about some petition that was written, and Baba's team are claiming it was in February, but apparently there was a revelation that it was later. What was that about? Sorry. I was trying to go somewhere with that information. So they're saying that it was released. Some people are saying it was done in February. Some are basically claiming it was a lie. Now, I want to believe it was Baba that actually said, you know what, make this move in February. But the move was now made by the people that should be doing it later.
No.
Whose fault is that?
It's the legal team's fault. I think
And whoever is pushing the legal team.
Don't forget, Titus, that when this whole thing started off, it was the water was muddy, was very dirty situation. The very dark man started his own crusade, questioning something about contribution of no money or whatever the case may be. Baba Mohbad did his own approach with the view that we used gentleman's agreement. The whole thing went mad, and then eventually it then turned out to be you have to go to court to go and get a petition against me for me to, you understand, you need to go through, follow the legal process. So I'm sure there would have been a way that you think you can just request DNA, which may have happened then, only for it to bounce back at you to realize that you now have to go through a different process for that DNA to come to play. I'm 100% certain there's a lot of monkey games happening inside that camp, Baba Mohbad's legal camp. And 100%. The thing is, when you disband something today, you disband it tomorrow, and then it is more like very sad right now that you can pick people up on the street, bring them together, and then label them as a legal team. And then your legal team itself, in terms of the lawyers, are separate from this legal team that you created. So the legal team that you created are now spokesmen who are going to now go as like the Seventh-day Adventist Church, or what's that church that crusade every Saturday? And then you're just going to be knocking on people's door to sort of like say, we come in peace, we want to, read the word of God to you and all this kind of stuff. And that's exactly what we get. And then if this doesn't work, why? Because you have people who are loose, who are sharing information loosely in the public space. You disband that one. Then you bring a new one up, then you disband this one. And then why call them? And then you have people on social media who will actually say they are part of a legal team. I'm thinking, you are not a legal professional. How can you then say you are part of a legal team?
That one is it's just English problem. That was, they didn't know what to call themselves really.
It is confusing. It's confusing. So there is something about advocacy, and we are part of it, but then we are not legal professionals. But all of us in the back room, we're all part of a legal team.
I get you.
Yeah, so there's a lot that is wrong about the process. You can't get a right out of a situation that is wrong all the way through.
Yeah,
that's the problem. So how many wrongs do you think you can
I want to
correct to make
believe
it right?
that a man that's trying to find justice for his son will not be putting himself through all this for this long period of time. He could have just ended it, and said, okay, I want to go. Who are the public anyway? Like, bury my child, kind of thing. He can just end it, but he's not, and he's still going for this thing. So I want to believe it's the people around him frustrating his efforts.
Yes, that's what.
But the thing is, the people around him, I will say, are buying time. They have their own agenda.
They are the ones doing the negotiation. They are the ones that don't want to spoil family names.
Yeah, but something
they are the ones that
played to their advantage is the fact that the inquest itself is now taking longer than you can imagine. So that is actually works to their advantage. From with the way I can see it now, so all of a sudden it's like everybody. It's like having a contract, right? And then you are the contractor, and suddenly the contract is only gonna end in 2 weeks' time. You can imagine how quickly things will just happen and it's all done. But suddenly something that is supposed to take maybe 2 weeks or 2 months is now likely to take a year. Do you not think people will just spread their wings and say, oh yes, This is cushy. And it's becoming quite cushy as it stands at the moment. And like as someone said this evening, I don't know if it's Gift 90 that said, whenever you offer a service for free, they will not accept. They will only accept people they pay. They are the taskmaster, and they will tell you what to do, what to say, where to go, and where not to go. But if you want to offer a service for free, I'm sure your stay will not be welcome any longer than
No,
it takes for them to dissolve the team.
they are taking people that they can pay so that they'll
Yeah,
come out.
and rebrand the whole thing again and again and again
Flourish
and
Cakes, are
again.
you not gonna say something?
Yeah, Gift 90. I was referring to Muiwa, I'm sure you got the comment.
Yeah,
Mr.
those people, Muyiwa, Shitu, whoever they have somebody that they answer to, someone that is superior,
All
and
of them,
and
they are
that
working for
and
women.
that person is not injustice from bad thing, obviously.
Yeah.
Flourish Cakes, say something. Or you've been here, you haven't said.
household. So it seems to me that is actually part of the whole delay. Is actually delaying the process as well. So I mean that's what I see, because I mean majority carries the vote. So everybody has been complaining about Muiwa and Mr. Muiwa's his ability to handle the situation. They see him as a very incompetent person. So, and people have been highlighting this on different occasions. He's not taking anything on board. So what's the point? So I think he's part of the reason why we are where we are still at the position we are still in at the moment. It's almost 10 months now. And then we keep on, repeating the same situation every now and then, So I think we should just, moving forward from now, I think we should just continue to call Baba out himself, in my own opinion, to be honest. So everybody have to be called out more. Because I see no reason why so many learned people have actually contributed, made different recommendations, and you are not taking anything on board if you truly want justice for your child. With everybody. Because justice for him is, for one is justice for all. So, and that's why everybody is, we are still, we are all contributing and being, engaging in this conversation every now and then. So, Baba should adhere to suggestions, being, even at this point, in fact, the public should take over. We just keep on, the public should just take over because we are tired of the whole
Baba will allow the
situation.
public to take over. Will Baba allow the public to take over?
Exactly, and that's why we query, and that's why we are concerned about him. Actually, that does he actually want justice for his son? Because if you want justice for your son, then every recommendation being suggested by learned people everywhere across the world, you should have taken that on board. And the public had the one making all those payments, doing everything. It's only the contribution aspect that seems, to be the priority at the moment. And with with all these dramas everywhere, and it's really not making sense. So you
Right now,
should
we are
allow the
saying
public to take over if he truly wants justice for his son. I think that's my own take at the moment. Thank you.
Flourish Cakes.
Yeah.
Baba Mohbad definitely wants justice for his departed son.
Well,
It is
action speaks louder. Action
it
speaks
is
louder than
how,
voice.
yeah, but you need to understand is how he wants it. That determine which action you will get. So for me, there is a way he wants it.
So how
And that
IT,
is
the
that
IT
is
guy, how
that
do you
is
think he
one
wants
thing.
it?
God bless you,
How
the
do you
IT
think he
guy.
wants
How
it?
he wants it, how he wants it clash with how the public wants it.
That is one thing. That is one thing we need to first of all learn that if you come across people, I said it earlier, people don't really want to get it. If you come across well-principled people, they can be very stubborn because they've made up their mind already. about what they're going to do and how they're going to do it. They understand all the legal implication in all ramifications. They know. But because they are so principled, it also guides the lawyers in the direction of what they are allowed to do and what they are not allowed to do. It's made it clear. Yeah, it will get public support, but it has to go through Muiwa. So if he said that, you see, if he said that knowing exactly how he wants it. And yes, the public will expect that by now.
He said that because he's trusting that whoever is put in charge will be on the same agenda, on the same mind frame as
Yeah, but his agenda. You see, the thing is, the lawyers will sit down with you, and even if they have to bullet point your concerns and things, it's literally sort of like, say, getting prepared for a show or an interview and all that kind of stuff. If it is more like, well scripted, they will present to you the questions they're going to ask you. You are going to warm up to how you're going to answer the questions, and you can decide that, you know what, I've had enough. I'm not doing this interview. I don't like the line of questions that you guys are going to put to me in public and all that kind of stuff. So he will say, one, we don't fight family. We don't take family to court. All this kind of principled way of looking at things. And once he is set that agenda, you then have people like Gurexi, like Muiwa, that will then go out there, engage with the lawyers, engage with the public, knowing that the memorandum of understanding that they've drafted sitting around the table is not going to appear anywhere in the public place. So it will appear to us as if he's not listening. It is not about us. It is about how he wants that justice. That's a problem. Give it to any one of us. Obviously, give it to any one of us, and I don't wish that on anyone, but give it to any one of us to be a lawyer or a support person in this kind of situation, and see how quickly we can even shoot up the hip and get out there and start fighting everybody and start putting things in place and all that kind of stuff. Do you know why some projects in Nigeria will take 6 months? And some other projects will take 6 years, right? So, look at the mindset of the person that is actually sort of like the leader, who is the CEO, the general person that is controlling everything, is me, that is going to tell you how my company will be run, even if you believe companies are not run that way. And this is a principled man who definitely wants justice, but he wants to do things in his way. Yes, it's a slow coach. Everything is happening in slow motion. But trust me, he's well versed about what is going on. And I'm sure is someone who would have been emphatic about what he wants, the main objective of how he wants it. That's my own insight. Do you understand? If you've experienced growing up and living with principled men, especially Nigerian men, principled, you will know exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah, they don't see that the pain is almost as if they don't feel the pain. They only visualize it, and they've calculated it in their mind. And yeah, once they give their order, it's giving his order, is giving it, is laid it on the table. And then obviously people who know that the process is going to be slow will take advantage of what they have in front of them. People like Gurexi and the rest of them, they will take advantage of the situation, won't they?
How Baba Mohbad wants his justice is clashing with how the public wants their justice.
Exactly. It's not making.
Someone should clap for you there. That's exactly what I'm roping on about. Yeah.
And Gift 90, you said exactly what we should have done from day one is the wrong thing we did. You know, we should have just gone our own way as a public, you know, fighting the justice rather than
Yeah, but
relying on the
they
family.
won't allow the foundation to hold. If they have allowed the foundation to hold, then the public would have had a strong, footing on this matter, really. But they did not allow that
I'm
to
sure there are
happen
some
anyway.
foundations. I'm sure there are some foundations.
The public should have. The public
There are
should
some
have
foundations
ex-
involved at the moment.
The public.
Yeah, but
Public should
who
have
is going to
explored
give them the
more than
power?
one foundation.
Who's
Can't
going to
just use one
veto? Who's
foundation.
going to veto their action? It's still the same Baba Mohbad that we actually veto the action for you to kind of go ahead and do anything on behalf of him.
Me personally, I don't know. I think if I can have a conversation with this man, I can change his mind. I don't know why people are saying, no, every time they speak to you, they say, go to Mr. Mayowa. I'll just tell him, what? I'm telling you, I'll just turn it down straight away. I tell him exactly what I
Yeah, but
want. I want it now.
the man has said it openly on his own platform. Openly on his own platform. He said it. It's not hearsay. I was on his platform when he said it.
I understand.
You know. I mean, the thing is, you actually wish there is a way you can break there's a barrier there that you can actually just go and come in peace and just softly just get in there and say, Baba, we come in peace, this and that, and you don't need to speak much. You only need to just say, just few sentences, and he will understand exactly where you're coming from.
If
But
a bunch
he
of
shielded
naked women
himself
protest
away.
in front of his door,
The man is shielded himself away from direct interaction. You get it?
yeah.
Papa will tell you
And I mean, I feel for the public. I feel for the process. I feel for the cause of justice in that country, only
Yeah.
to even find out that even the pained, as they say, the person that is feeling the pain, the bereaved, can even slow down the process of justice themselves
Muyiwa told us that
based on their own principle.
yeah, no one cries than a bereaved.
Yeah,
Baba
exactly.
told
Nobody
Adura, see
can
you.
be pained more than
Baba
the
told
bereaved.
Adura, see you in court, because he's obviously saying he's the one that
Exactly.
embalmed. You know, so I don't think Baba has any problem with sending family member to court.
It's
But,
Muyiwa
you know,
aggressive,
Baba needs
but
this
what
thing to
about
end as soon as possible. He cannot keep
He
going
hasn't
on like this.
reflected.
Who allowed
He hasn't
me?
reflected.
You are talking to Wumi behind closed door.
He hasn't reflected in his actions, and I'm sure he knows 100% that, well, that is just a cock and bull story. Yeah, because
Let's imagine this scenario. Let's imagine this scenario, right? Baba said, I don't care. Charge anybody to court. And then when they get home, Gurezi is like, Josie,
Gracie said no.
it be like say you don't dey bold, oh. You go just dey outside, they
Right.
talk anyhow. We charge who to court?
Charge who to court?
Kai.
You.
Wow, we are in trouble, man.
Even
are
leave,
the one who
even leave
started
Gurexi out of it and just think of the other family members older than Baba Mohbad. Apparently, there is one Olori Ebi there. What is his own, what is his stance on this? You know?
it's unfortunate that Baba Mohbad is Olori Ebi in this matter because he's Mohbad's father. If Mohbad,
No, I mean,
Mohbad
they
had
have
grown
the
up,
actual Olori Ebi of the Aloba family, the eldest of Aloba family. It is not Baba Mohbad.
the Yoruba culture is different from the Igbo culture. If it's the Igbo culture, maybe there is ranking in terms of, the hierarchy and all that. But when it comes to a child that grew up in your care that you brought up from the inception, is different from if the child that probably lived with the grandfather, for instance, and you haven't brought the child up directly, then there may be an impact. To a certain extent, some families, there will be an impact there where the family then become sort of like a lot more extended or whatever, the wings spreads that way. Then responsibility is then divided, and then the hierarchy, they can then, that grandfather or those people can then veto you to a certain extent where they will be looked upon as the Olori Ebi, if you know what I mean. But in this case, because it's more like restricted to just Baba Mohbad, Iya Mohbad, and the children, then Baba Mohbad, if as long as he's alive, becomes the head of the family. So it'll be difficult to kind of, go above that in terms of ranking, to go anywhere in any form or shape, that anyone that has influence on the family, from when the man, Baba Mohbad, married Mama Mohbad and they had the children, and then Wumi got involved, is the involvement of Baba Mohbad, Mama Mohbad against Wumi's family. Even though we got to know that she may have gone to loan a father somewhere to come and represent her during the ceremony. But that's a matter for another day. Yeah, it's another one like with CR7. I mean, CR7 is core ideas is taken away. I think we also need to do the same and then come back again. and I hope that there will be clarity on it, because I mean, thing is the platform are getting really thin on the ground now. That the divisor is pushed some prominent TikTok hosts in one direction, and everybody else is actually left, on this side of the pond. So the next time you're sitting on the fence, you're not sure which side you're on. The other side may be people fighting for justice, or it could be people not wanting justice, or people who wanting it but want it their own way. Right? So yeah, Gurexi, Muiwa, Baba Mohbad, they want justice but they want it their own way. That's where we are. So I would say we're stuck in the middle. So anyway,
we'll be watching
I'm about to branch out now.
Thanks for coming, everyone.
It's time to go and get some beauty sleep.
Yeah.
But it's been quite interesting engaging with you guys.
We are stuck in the middle,
Titles,
guys. Before we go,
Flourish
we are
Cake,
stuck
Gift
in the middle.
90, J for Imole, and
But in order for us
Lulu
not to
herself.
we must stop depending on the family. Okay.
We just have to keep
Everybody
trying and
must
keep
think of
bringing the
ideas
ideas
for the
in.
public
But
good,
remember,
not the family.
anything you
Yeah,
do
we keep trying for
without
ideas.
depending on the family, it needs to go through Baba. It needs to go through Baba Mohbad. That's the key.
The moment you get to Baba Mohbad, he will tell you go to Muiwa. Muiwa will tell you no.
The IT guy.
If you have
The
money,
IT
that's
guy.
what you
Do you believe that you can
Yeah.
you can have Baba Mohbad on this on a panel uninterrupted?
It will be. I mean, thing is I think if I say something about how you can bring Baba Mohbad to any
You don't need to say it here. You
I
don't
don't
need to
know.
say it here.
They will
No.
beat
You don't
If
need
him.
you,
to say it here.
I just want to say something. Did you experience what's his name? What's this guy's name again? Hold on, Aristocrat. Yeah, when Aristocrat actually brought, is it Prime Boy? He brought to his platform.
Yeah, it was Prime Boy.
Yeah.
Now, if anyone experienced that, that is a fashion that I believe, a way that I believe you can bring Baba Mohbad to a platform, engage with him properly. Yeah. I'm sure anyone can. Like I said, you need to engage with Baba Mohbad prior to whatever interview.
Thank you.
You need to give him an idea of the kind of questions you're gonna ask him.
Isabella. Hey.
And you need to engage with him directly,
Thanks, Isabella.
right? And with the moment you have other people on the panel, then you have a problem.
Yep.
There are people who will ask questions indirectly, directly, aggressively.
Thank you.
Some people will be invited to the panel, as we've seen before. They want to really come and cause the man and really give him some negative vibes openly, with the rest of the entire nation listening to the platform. You understand?
Yeah.
So we can engage Baba, but it has to be one interviewer only
Only in a box
with Baba. Only. And you need to do it and be prepared. You're going to ask him question, he will answer your questions. It doesn't matter how he answers it, but let
Anybody
him
who
have the
have questions,
question.
they can
Let
write
him
it.
have the question in advance and then prepare him before you go on air. And I think everybody will enjoy that show because it's more like not as interactive as you'd like to, but you have to trust the host. You need to put your trust in the host. Do you understand?
Yeah, sure.
I mean, it will be useful to engage with him, but unfortunately, I don't think he will engage with you the way you would have loved to because he's not acting alone.
Gracie will be on his side now. Gracie will be on his
Yeah,
side.
he's not acting
Baba.
alone. So
Wumi will be looking at Baba also. Trust
It's
me.
unbelievable.
Yeah,
It's
Wumi will be there.
unbelievable. It's
Gracie will be
unbelievable.
there.
We are still.
Muyiwa will be on the phone.
yeah, it's not acting alone. I mean, it will be useful. I mean, thing is, the public will keep forgiving Baba Mohbad and they keep forgiving him, and
That's
because
it.
they love him, because they want justice for
Because
Mohbad,
we
truly
want
want
justice
justice
now.
for
We
Mohbad,
want justice for Mohbad.
truly. But we've surpassed the situation where we were even saying that is not is showing gratitude, is not showing that is grateful enough for the support the public is giving him. But even when we cry and the outcry went out, a lot of suggestions come from a lot of people, including myself. And we thought we got there when he set up his own platform and is able to engage with the public. And that happened for about 2 weeks or
They are
so.
taking his
And
platform away from him.
bang,
They are taking the platform.
yeah, and bang, it disappeared.
Yeah, they are taking it away.
Because if you do an open forum and you get people to ask questions, they will ask questions and it will be the same question we've been asking ourselves on this platform. It will be the same thing we've discussed tonight. It will be the same thing that we're worried about or pondering over.
Thing happened to Baba Grace.
Now, same position. God.
Yeah, I think it's one of the
At the
inquests
moment, we should
that
that Baba knows exactly what he's doing. He's aware of.
Exactly.
Yeah. Basically,
Look,
we
if you
should
need help,
not
you will
panic.
call out.
I don't think you should panic. Flor